Once again, welcome to the depression. This is Free as the channel. Thank you for your comment and also contribution for the last production. I've received a lot of comments concerning the last production. Many ask questions about things about the free generator. What are the things they need to do to design this free generator? Some even go ahead and ask questions about something like, does this free generator really work? Does this energy generator really work? So today I want to look at that area because the question has become challenging. Many have always asked, does this thing really work? And when I want to tell you that this really work, this is a working system, as you can see, and no one will spend he or some money and begin to do child play in this kind of things because it involves money. As you can see, to design a free generator is not just something that has to do with you choke. You will see a lot of pattern things. You see the generator here, you see the electric motor, you see the flywheel, you see the iron, the base, you see all the testing. All this involves money, and there's no way you will spend money setting up things for child play. This involves a money process. So free energy generator is free, and many people have started designing this system. All you need to do is for you to be able to understand the pattern, the system, how it works. If you follow the procedure at which we have been teaching, we have taught you, you follow the system, you use the same base. As you can see, you design your base, you also design buy your own electric motor, have your own generator, do the construction, you set up the system, you will see that the system actually works. Some people have the issue of the switching off and off. If you want to switch over from the external to internal power source, they have the issue of breakdown in the voltage transmission. And I also, this kind of case, if you have such issue, which I know is not common, but if actually have such issue, then you check your configuration, you check your motor, the capacity of your motor, because sometimes these things are caused by the capacity of your motor. If your motor is not strong enough to run the generator, generator at the speed at which generator is being configured, because sometimes the generator RPM is higher than that of the motor. And if the generator RPM, for instance, this generator now, the 2500 and generator RPM, okay, you can see, let us say 2015. You observe that if you want to change over in this kind of case, there will be a breakdown. So in that system, you have to introduce what I call the booster. The booster can be formed or can be bought in the market. So you will form a booster. That booster, what it does is that it will boost the voltage of the generator in such a way that it will not help the motor to run in a required speed that is a speed at which is required. The booster can sometimes we call it transformer. It reform it boosts out the voltage, it increase the voltage so that it can be able to meet the requirement of this electric motor. So if, for instance, you have such issue, if you have such issue, so you require for you to use a booster. Now methods which are also discovered that can be also used to help you out in that area. But at least the best method which I know that we have been using here is the area of the changing over this one. You plug over the system from the external power source into power source, and then it picks up immediately. And that is when you do it correctly. Sometimes it has to do with your design. You're switching over. If your switching over has to do with you must break down from the external power source before you change over to internal power source. Definitely, it's like they said, you will be break. And if the flywheel turning is not high enough to be able to boost out the speed that will be able to keep the generator running during the process of changing over, because changing over between, even if it's a millisecond, it will definitely affect the motor. And when the motor is affected, definitely the production of the generator will be affected, and that is where sometimes I have an issue, because somebody complained that, sir, each time I want to switch over from the external power source to my internal power generation, the generator goes off completely. And ask them, how is your configuration? What is your configuration? Because that is the area you will look at very first. How did you configure? Because if you watch carefully in this production, you see that there's not the switching is highly observed. It's just very simple, and the way it's been designed. If you follow this pattern clearly, you know that the switching is very simple. You can be able to switch over from the external to internal without observing any change in the motor. You will not see any slowdown in the speed of the motor, because if there's no slowdown in the speed of the motor, definitely there will be no breakdown in the production of the light. So that is where some people have issues. So you have to look at that area of changing. That area of change. The problem most people having is the area of changing over. How to be able to control and maintain the motor running when you're changing over, because that is the only area where issue comes most of the people. With that area is being solved, the free generator is as simple as nothing. If you design this generator, even in your house, you will see that the light is producing. There is no way. There is no way, I say it. There is no way you design this motor for the same method we are using where you don't have light. Nobody has. I've seen people just saying this is what is it? I generate the light that is working. I generate voltage. Some even having high voltage, but the problem is I had this issue in this area. So that is area that is with the switch over. Outside that, this is very working perfectly. This is working 100% working. A free air generator work 100% working. It's not a scam, it's not a joke, it's not child play. People are doing it and they are seeing the result. So look at the area. Okay, let us look at this area now. Let's just take a look at this production and see something now. You can see the system, you can see the configuration. You see this is the flywheel. At this this flywheel is 100 kVA, 100 kg flywheel, and you can see that this adjuster here is to enable in case if the SF adjuster is if there is high voltage, the generator produces high voltage, the adjuster will help to adjust the speed of the generator so that the voltage will step down. That is the area also some people have issue, because sometimes when you have high voltage, which I'm going to discuss that in the next video, you have to design adjuster. The adjuster is enable you to adjust the bed where the high voltage will step down, the voltage will step down. That is another, because it's the area where some of you have issue, the area of high voltage, because somebody one day asked a question and says, sir, what if the voltage is too high? What do I do to adjust it? This is the best thing to do, is to adjust it by using the bed. You have to slack in the bed so that the turning, the speed of the motor is slacked down small, because the bed now in this case is the one that links the electric motor to the generator. So if you have a very high voltage, I encourage you for you to bring in the bed in, so that bring in the adjuster. And if you're at this place now, this is where you have the configuration. This is where you can adjust and configure the motor, that is the generator voltage to the socket. This is where you can see right now. If you can see, this is a cable adjuster. This is the external power supply. In this place now, you have a external supply where you plug in the motor. Just what I see now. You can see the motor now is going to be plugged here. Take a look, the motor will be plugged. This is the external power supply, and this is see, as you can see, it's plugged. As you can see now, to start. As when it starts, just watch something, watch it now. As you can see, the speed of the motor is very high. This is the voltage. This is the voltage. That's the voltage now. That's the voltage. The socket is here. This is the socket. This is the socket. This adjuster is going to adjust the voltage. Adjust the voltage. That there is a less current of look very careful. Look, this is adjusting. This is adjusting. Yes, it's adjusting the speed of the kilometer square. So the adjusters, yeah, you can see now it's starting to calculate the adjuster so that the speed will remain constant, so the voltage will remain high. Now, if you observe carefully, the adjuster now is becoming firm. It's firm now. Well, look at the changing over system now. Look at the over system now. If you look at the changing over system, where the voltage enter to this place, look at this place now. Look at this place. Now, it disconnects from the extra power supply to the power supply from direct. Now you can see that the feeling now is not only from the metal, it's not from the external supply, it's now in the internal, which means this generator now moves the voltage now to this point. And then you can see the supply comes from directly from the internal now. The neutral line is connected to this point, and then the supply comes directly from the internal supply. So the question is, does free inverter work? Yes, free inverter work perfectly. All you just have to do is to understand the simple method, which is easy. As you can see, there's nothing hiding in this place. If you just put the same method and you just adjusted this equation, sign the same thing, do the same thing, you have the same result. So it's simple as that. It's simple as that. So if you want to adapt this system, you must be able to put it better. Now after this now, the next position I'm going to look at the major problems which some of you are facing in this position, the major problem, and then why some people did wrong, why some people did wrong. What are the areas which is a bit wrong? But for now you can see that this is the best system you can just fully same method, design your own method here. When you design your own system, there is a result. Thank you for watching.